Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This video is going to cover the dividing rational numbers guided notes. Like when we multiplied rational numbers, the rules for dividing integers also apply to dividing rational numbers. So if we have an even number of negative numbers that are being divided, meaning if we have two negative numbers, our answer is going to be positive. The quotient of an odd number of negative numbers is going to be negative. So if we have two negatives, our answer will be positive. If we have one negative number, our answer will be negative. You must write mixed numbers as improper fractions, just like when we multiplied rational numbers. We will multiply by the reciprocal. You might think of this as keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction as it is, change division to multiplication, and flip the fraction that follows the division symbol. This is something you have to do. Once you change it into a multiplication problem, you can cross-reduce. You cannot do this, though, until the problem is written as a multiplication problem. Multiply straight across and simplify your answer as needed. So, of course, there are several examples typed up for you, but we're going to go right into our practice problems. Our first question is 1/3 divided by 5/9. So the first thing we're going to do is keep 1/3, change division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction so it becomes -9/5. Now you can see I already started to cross-reduce here. Now, unlike when I did my video for multiplying rational numbers, I did show a second way you could do this. We can write 9 divided by 3 to show that we're dividing both 3 and 9 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. And then we can just multiply straight across. Keep in mind the very first thing I did was I did keep, change, switch, or keep, change, flip. I did 1/3 times -9/5. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 5 is 5. We had one negative, so our answer will be -3/5. In number 2, we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep -5/8, change division to multiplication, and -6 or -6/1 is going to become -1/6. So -5/8 times -1/6. We cannot cross-reduce anything here. 5 and 6 don't divide by anything. 8 and 1 do not divide by anything. I should say besides 1. 2 negatives is going to make a positive. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 6 is 48. Our final solution here is 5/48. Number 3, since this is a division problem, we'll do keep, change, flip. Keep 18/19, change division to multiplication, and -6/7 becomes -7/6. Now, 18 and 6 both divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is going to leave us with 1. 18 divided by 6 is going to leave us with 3. I really recommend that you cross-reduce to make this math a whole lot easier. If you don't cross-reduce, you're going to have to do 18 times 7 and 19 times 6, and then you have to reduce it at the end, and that's a lot more difficult to do than just taking 3 times 7 to get 21 and 19 times 1 to get 19 here. And again, the reason why this is going to be beneficial for us is we now just need to change this improper fraction into a mixed number, which is pretty simple to do. Since 19 goes into 21 one time and we're left with a remainder of 2, our answer will be -1 and 2/19 because we had one negative. Again, if you don't cross-reduce, you're going to have 18 times 7 and you're going to have 19 times 6, and these numbers are going to be much more difficult to reduce. Let's take a look at number 4. Keep, change, flip. So keep 18, change division to multiplication, and flip -9/10 into -10/9. Let's talk through this work here. So when we look at our diagonal numbers, the 1 and 10 do not reduce, but 18 and 9 both divide by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is going to be 2. We'll take 2 times 10 to get 20. 1 times 1 to get 1. We had one negative, so our answer is negative, and this will just be -20. Now, number 5, we've got some mixed numbers, so we need to make them into improper fractions first. -7 and 1/2 is -15/2. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Keep that denominator the same. 2 and 1/10, 10 times 2 is 20, plus 1 is 21/10. Notice how I didn't do keep, change, flip yet. I'll do that in our next step. So we'll keep 15/2. We'll change division to multiplication, and 21/10 becomes 10/21. Now you can see there's a lot of reducing that we can do here. So 15 and 21 both divide by 3. Now, they don't divide by anything bigger than that, which is unfortunate, but if we can divide by something, we should reduce. 15 divided by 3 is 5, 21 divided by 3 is 7. The 2 and the 10 both divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now multiply straight across. So we have 5 times 5 on the top, which is 25, 1 times 7 on the bottom, which is 7. Negative times a negative is going to get us a positive, or negative divided by a negative will get us a positive, 25/7. 7 goes into 25 3 times to get us to 21, and that will leave us with a remainder of 4. So we will have 3 and 4/7 for our mixed number. Keep in mind, in our multiplying rational numbers video, I also did long division for this, so you could use long division as well. Number 6, negative 8 and 3/4 divided by 4 and 7/8. First thing, change those mixed numbers to improper fractions. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3 is 35/4. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 7 is 39/8. Do keep, change, flip. So keep 35/4, change division to multiplication, and 39/8 becomes 8/39. Now, 35 and 39 do not reduce by anything, but 4 and 8 both divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now our math isn't super easy here. We've got 35 times 2. That's going to get us 70, and 1 times 39 is going to get us just 39. So we have negative 70/39. Now 39 is not going to go into 70 more than one time. And our answer is negative here because we had one negative. To get the remainder that's left, you'll have to subtract these. You could do that mentally, or you can also show the work, but 39 plus 1 gets us to 40. 40 to 70 is another 30, so this will be negative 1 and 31/39. These lessons can be really difficult if you don't know your number facts. So that's why I stress even continuing to practice your multiplication and division facts. Like sometimes kids will say, oh, I don't really know my multiplication and division facts. If you're in 7th grade, you really have to know them. So don't be afraid to practice them. Make yourself flashcards with these. There's lots of different quizzes you can do online to practice multiplication facts as well, because you do need to know them for this. And even those addition and subtraction facts are important as well. Let's move ahead to number 7. Number 7, we have 9 and 5/6 divided by negative 1 and 5/18. Change those into improper fractions. So 6 times 9 is 54, plus 5 is 59/6, divided by 18 times 1 is 18, plus 5 is 23/18. Keep, change, flip. So keep 59/6, change division to multiplication. 23/18 becomes 18/23. Now 59 and 23 do not reduce by anything, but 18 and 6 both divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Now our math here still isn't super easy. We've got to take 59 times 3. So I would do maybe 60 times 3, which is 180, and then take 3 away from that. So that's going to get us 177 on the top. And on the bottom, we just had 1 times 23 to get 177 over 23. Now, it took me some practice to try to see what this would be as a mixed number. So I started with 23 times 5 to see how many times 23 went into 177, and I got to 115. And I knew that was too low, so I actually skipped the number 6 and went, oh goodness, 6, 7, but I went to 7 and took 23 times 7 to get 161. That's as close as I can get to 177 without going over. So I know my whole number is going to be 7. Our answer is negative. And then 177 minus 161 is a remainder of 16/23. That one's pretty nasty. Your numbers that you're going to have on your quiz on this will be a little bit easier, but I do think it's good to challenge ourselves every now and then. All right, number 8, evaluate A over B if A is 3/4 and B is negative 0.05. So it's going to look kind of like this, a fraction within a fraction. We call that a complex fraction. So 3/4 over negative 0.05. You can rewrite this as 3/4 divided by negative 0.05, or you can change the 3/4 into a decimal, which is 0.75. That's one you should be familiar with. Now, the other option you have is to change negative 0.05 into a fraction and then divide those, but the decimals are actually quite easy here, which we'll see in a moment. So 3/4, which is 0.75, divided by negative 0.05. So the way we divide decimals is you want this second number to be a whole number. So we move the decimal point to the right 2 places in 0.05 to get 5, and also in the 0.75 to the right 2 places. So basically we end up with the question 75 divided by negative 5, which really isn't that bad to do. 5 goes into 75 exactly 15 times, so our answer is just negative 15. Now again, we could do 3/4 divided by, this would be negative 5/100 or negative 1/20. So it would be 3/4 times 20 over 1. We'd end up getting 60 over 4, which is also 15, negative 15 in this case. All right, let's look at our next one. Evaluate, we've got x over y if x is 4/5 and y is negative 0.1. So I first started by writing it as a complex fraction. 4/5 is the same as 0.8 divided by the 0.1. The reason why this one becomes pretty easy is if I want to change 0.1 into 1 by moving the decimal point to the right 1 place, this decimal point to the right 1 place, we end up with the question 8 divided by negative 1, which is pretty easy to do. That's going to get us negative 8. Now again, you could make negative 0.1 into negative 1/10. You would then have 4/5 divided by negative 1/10, which would be 4/5 times negative 10 over 1. You'd end up getting 40 over 5, which is still going to be 8 for our solution. So you can treat them as fractions, as decimals, whichever is going to be easier. So for this last one, I did treat these as mixed numbers. So evaluate C over D if C is negative 4.75 and D is negative 1 1/4. So I rewrote negative 4.75 as negative 4 3/4 divided by negative 1 1/4. And we could have made them both into decimals. Negative 4.75 divided by negative 1.25. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right in both of those, but I thought it was good for us to see one where we had mixed numbers as well. So let's change those mixed numbers into improper fractions. That will be negative 19/4 divided by negative 5/4. Do keep, change, flip will be negative 19/4 times negative 4/5. Now, anytime you have the same number diagonally, you can divide them both by themselves. So 4 divided by 4 becomes 1. I just cross them out if I see the same number diagonally. I have 19 then on the top and 5 on the bottom. Negative times a negative is a positive, 19/5. 5 goes into 19 3 times to get us to 15 with a remainder of 4/5. So 3 4/5 is our solution. If you want to write that as a decimal, that's 3.8. That also works. All right, let's take a look at this last one. The Student Council is selling lollipops to fund the upcoming school dance. The table shows their results over 5 weeks. What was the average amount of money the Student Council earned each week? We're basically finding a unit rate here. So what we need to do is figure out how much was either earned or lost over those 5 weeks and then divide by 5. So let's start by adding our positive values, the 25.90, the 39.53, and the 42.31 together. We will get 107.74. I did show that work down here. I put a plus sign next to them too, so I knew that it was addition. And then the negative numbers, we have negative 13.42 plus negative 17.52. So I also added those together. You can see my work here, and I got negative 30.94. So now we have 107.74 plus negative 30.94. Since those signs are different, we have to subtract those. That should look familiar. We saw some integer questions like this previously. So 107.74 minus 30.94 leaves us with $76.80 over those 5 weeks, and it will be a positive value. So it was an earning and not a loss. Now we need to divide that by 5 to figure out the amount of profit or the amount earned per week. So you can see that I did that long division here. $76.80 divided by 5. 5 goes into 7 one time to get us 5. 7 minus 5 is 2, bring down the 6. 5 goes into 26 5 times to get us 25. 26 minus 25 is 1, bring down the 8. 5 goes into 18 3 times to get us 15. 18 minus 15 is 3, bring down the 0. And 5 goes into 30 exactly 6 times. That will then get us a remainder of 0. So we could say that our average amount of earnings is $15.36 per week, or for each week. Now, I know we covered a lot in this video and also multiplying rational numbers, but keep in mind for dividing rational numbers, you've got to make sure to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. It has to be done. Common denominators are not needed, but we can cross-reduce like we did with multiplying rational numbers. Once we do, keep, change, flip. So we keep the first fraction the same, we change division to multiplication, and we flip that second fraction. We call that the reciprocal. Once we do keep, change, flip, we can then cross-reduce like we did with multiplying rational numbers, and of course simplify our answer at the end as needed. I know these fractions aren't easy, so hopefully you've been able to follow along. We'll get lots of practice in class, so make sure you're ready for that practice. Hopefully you had some understanding of how to do these kinds of problems leading into our next quiz. I know you can handle it. Thanks for listening.